Welcome in to Steelers Talk, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry, your host. On today's show, we're going to be breaking down the latest news and rumors surrounding your Pittsburgh Steelers, and I cannot wait to see what is going to be going on with you guys today. Moving on here to the first segment of the day, which is subscribe to the channel, all right? So make sure you're subscribed to the channel before we get into these news and rumors here. The Steelers schedule release officially drops tomorrow. We are going to have a video breaking that down, and then also I'm going to be giving my official record prediction for the Steelers on Friday. So if you want access to those videos, as well as our daily free videos that we put on for the Steelers on YouTube every single day, go ahead, do me a favor and click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you know whenever we put out new videos. So the first bit of news here is that the Steelers cut cornerback Arthur Maulet this morning. We are recording this during Wednesday's live stream. And, you know, Brooke Pryor is somebody that is a very respected ESPN reporter coming out here and saying that versatile cornerback Art Maulet asked for his release from the Steelers, and it was granted, source confirms. Maulet spent the last 2 seasons in Pittsburgh, played in 33 games with 8 starts, and was especially productive in 2022 with 59 tackles, 2 sacks, and an interception. Now, Maulet, somebody that played a lot for the Steelers over the last couple of years, right? He's been kind of a backup to start the season, but as the season has gone on in both 2021 and 2022, he's kind of played as a starter in that nickel role, playing in the slot. He's somebody that is seen as a good blitzer, but he definitely had some struggles in coverage, and I think that's why the Steelers have kind of moved on from him as their nickel cornerback moving into 2023. Last year, the PFF grade was not fantastic at 56.5, which was good for 90th in the entire league among cornerbacks, and he was signed by Pittsburgh in 2021, formerly with the New York Jets, and he played quite a bit as a nickel cornerback for the Steelers over the last couple of years. And now that the Steelers have added Patrick Peterson, Joey Porter Jr., Cory Trice Jr., signed Chandon Sullivan, another nickelback, it just seems like there's not a true fit for a role for Maulet to play on the Steelers defense, and it seems like he's the odd man out, and he wanted to get released, and the Steelers granted that request. So let me know in the comments section, do you like this move by the Steelers to cut cornerback Arthur Maulet? Type L if you like it, or if you dislike it, type D. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break here, just go ahead, do me a favor, go to that pinned comment in the comment section. It's that one right at the top, and answer today's question. So you take a look at Maulet's numbers from last year. He had 2 sacks as a blitzing kind of nickel cornerback. That was kind of his thing. He was kind of like Mike Hilton light in that regard. Hilton was a lot better than Maulet, in my opinion, at blitzing, but that's kind of what Maulet is known for, is as a blitzer. He had 3 pass breakups and an interception last year. He played in all 17 games. He is somebody that doesn't get hurt too often, which is something that is valuable for NFL teams. I think he will get picked up by somebody. But last year, man, the coverage numbers, he's just so small. He just got abused in man coverage last year, and it just seems like the Steelers don't want that to be a hole in their defense heading into 2023. The Steelers save just under $2 million by making this move, and I don't think it's a move that the Steelers wanted to make. I think that it was something that was a little bit predictable, however. I do think that they wanted him in camp. I think they wanted him to compete with Chandon Sullivan, to be kind of that nickel kind of guy, that dime backer, whatever you want to call it. But I originally had him on my cut candidates list that we're going to be doing on the Steelers Talk Live show, and I had to take him off because they had already cut him. So you take a look at the cornerback room for the Steelers right now. You got Patrick Peterson, Joey Porter Jr., and Ahkello Witherspoon, you know, somebody that's a bit of a question mark. Same thing with Levi Wallace. You bring in Chandon Sullivan, and you bring in all these guys. Same thing with Cory Trice Jr., who might be establishing a role for himself next year. And there's just not a whole lot of room for Maulet to thrive and get playing time. And it just seems like he thinks that he can play in this league, and he wanted a place that really views him as a starting caliber player, and he asked for his release. So here's another question that I want to ask about this particular cut. Are the Steelers clearing space now for another free agent? That's what some people are speculating. Someone possibly like a J.J. Watt. Maybe they'll add a linebacker. I'm going to be breaking down the latest free agency rumors for your Pittsburgh Steelers here in just a second. But first, if you want a brand new, officially licensed Joey Porter Jr. Steelers jersey, you can get one on the Steelers Talk or on the Chat Sports website. My bad there. You got to go chatsports.com/Joey Porter Jr. to get yours today. I'm telling you, these things are selling extremely fast. This is a very, very hot item. One of the hottest items we've ever had on the show, actually, and there's just a couple left. So if you want to secure a number 24 Joey Porter Jr. jersey for yourself for the future, make this investment in this young player, go ahead and go to chatsports.com/Joey Porter Jr. today. So now let's talk a little bit about J.J. Watt, because apparently, according to the rumor mill right now, the possibility of him joining the Steelers is gaining steam, and it's certainly looking like there's at least a possibility that Mike Tomlin and T.J. Watt could convince J.J. to come out of retirement and join the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ike Taylor, part of the Steelers organization right now, went on a podcast earlier this week, and this is what he had to say about J.J. Watt. Hey, J.J. Watt, just stay in shape. You might get that phone call throughout the year. Go on and stay in shape just in case. And then later on in that podcast, he ended up saying, picture the two Watts on both sides of the stick coming off the edge. JJ, a future Hall of Famer, put your helmet on alongside your brother, TJ, trying to make a playoff push. I'm just saying, and let me just say here, that this would be awesome. I don't think he would necessarily be playing as an outside linebacker like Ike suggests here. I think he'd be more of like a 5 technique defensive end in the 3-4 kind of situation, probably maybe even defensive tackle in those nickel 4-down fronts. But at the end of the day, you can't deny that this guy can still play football. If he's still in shape, I mean, just last year, double-digit sacks, 12.5 sacks last season for somebody that called it quits. I mean, this guy can definitely still ball with the best of them. 7 pass breakups as a defensive end and 18 tackles for loss, so you know he can still blow up plays in the run game as well. And like I said, I think he would kind of slide in. He wouldn't be a full-time 3-down starter. I think he'd be kind of sharing snaps with Larry Ogunjobi and Cameron Heyward on the interior of the defensive line. Of course, Keanu Benton, you hope, can be your nose tackle of the future moving forward. And JJ, I think that this would be a great fit for him because he can come in and he's not going to be asked to be the star of this defensive line. You have TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith on the outside. You have Cam Heyward as your number 1 defensive tackle. Larry Ogunjobi is a really good player as well. JJ would just be coming in and he would just be asked to just screw stuff up for opposing offenses, which is what he does best. He would get a nice break with how much depth the Steelers already have on the defensive line. So I think this is something that his body can take. I just think that this is a great fit for JJ, and if he decides to come out of retirement, I just really can't figure out a better fit for him when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the big question for the Steelers is, where are they going to get the money? Right now they got about $9 million in cap space. They still haven't signed their rookies, so they might have to clear a little bit of cap space if they want to get J.J. Watt to the Steelers, even on a team-friendly deal. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Predict for me, will J.J. Watt sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason? Type Y if you think yes, or type N if you think no. I can't wait to see where you guys are at on this particular topic. So some other rumors surrounding the Steelers when it comes to free agency right now is they might go ahead and sign another inside linebacker. Now, personally, I kind of like what the Steelers have in the linebacker room already. You take a look at what they have. They got Cole Holcomb. You sign a Landon Roberts as well. I think those two are very good, solid pros. And you got Mark Robinson, who you hope can be a nice breakout candidate for you this year. But some people think, that's not enough. You want to go get another guy to kind of fill out the rest of this group. And the two options that I'm seeing thrown around the most often on Steelers Twitter right now is Rashaan Evans and Myles Jack, okay? So we're going to be breaking these guys down just one by one here. We'll start with Rashaan Evans. I think that Evans is somebody that can be coming in, and he's a very physical prospect. He went in the first round for a reason, 22nd overall to the Tennessee Titans back in 2018. And the reports were back in 2018 that the Steelers were very, very high on Evans, and they even considered trading up to get him in that draft. But, over the course of his career, hasn't been the most productive player, hasn't been the best player in terms of technique, in terms of getting things done. His grade last year was only a 59.6, which just isn't all that great. But he is somebody that apparently the Steelers like the pedigree of. They know him. They interviewed him in the pre-draft process. If you take a look at his recent career stats over the last couple of years, it's just very underwhelming. I mean, seriously, he's been hurt for a couple of seasons as well. But overall, he's a linebacker. He's somebody that has experience in this league. He's started in this league. He's very athletic, and he's still a very promising player is what I will say. But overall, I would say no, because I like the Landon Roberts signing. I like Cole Holcomb. I like Mark Robinson. I don't want to add another piece to that mix. Then another person that some people think the Steelers should go out and get is Myles Jack. And of course, Myles Jack was somebody with the Steelers in 2022, and he just didn't play all that great. He was on a big contract, and 53.6 with a PFF grade, it's just not what you're looking for out of Myles Jack when it comes to grading. If you're making that much money, they ended up cutting him because he was slated to make over $10 million this season. It's like, no way. But on a lower contract, on a lower cap hit, maybe with his experience, maybe with the things that he brings to the defense and the leadership that he brings, would it be worth it for the Steelers to bring him back on, say, a $2 or $3 million contract, because he does have that leadership ability. He has the experience in the defense. He knows what Mike Tomlin is looking for out of that group. And right now you got a lot of guys in Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts and Mark Robinson that haven't played I can't say a single down, but they just don't have a ton of experience in Mike Tomlin's system. Myles Jack, signing him back would certainly give the Steelers that experience that they might be looking for. But personally, I'm good. Okay, guys, I'm good with the inside linebackers that the Steelers have right now. I understand why some people might be looking at Rashaan Evans or Myles Jack, but I think Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts, two guys that have been in the NFL for a long time, I think they have a pretty good gist of what Mike Tomlin wants out of that position. And of course, Mark Robinson, somebody that we're really hoping can turn into a real breakout candidate for the Steelers moving into 2023. So if you're the GM here, pick one of these inside linebackers to sign to the Steelers. If you want Rashaan Evans, type RE in the comments section. Or if you want Myles Jack, go ahead and type MJ. That's going to do it for me today, Yinzers. I really appreciate you stopping by. I will see you guys later. Peace.